Well, Marvel's finally started announcing, or started to really hype, the Knull is coming event, or the King in Black. Um, are you excited for it? This is Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, spinning off of Venom. Are you hyped? Are you ready? Is your body ready? Is your soul ready? Or wait a minute, are you going? Wait, Empyre hasn't even shipped yet. We're advertising the next event. Hi. Hey everybody, this is Perch. Technically, that intro was misleading because the next event is actually Ten of Swords, not Knull. so um, this is the King in Black is actually two events off. We're going to go, and three if you count Outlawed, but nobody's counting Outlawed right now. So we have Empyre coming up; it's about to start, and then we are getting Ten of Swords or Outlawed, and I guess and Outlawed, and then we're getting King in Black. So this, how this all tee up? Well, when Donny Cates took over Venom, he introduced this character Knull. There's kind of King of the Dark Symbiotes. That's not the right way to say it, but anyway, kind of this big cosmic bad guy character that is out there and is now set free and is headed to Earth to cause some chaos. And he's got kind of that Ozzy Osbourne, but not gone to seed completely look. It's hard to look at this and not think that this is Marvel's answer to death metal, because it's got a lot of those same, like, you are not ready, we are going to rock this house. It's weird to be kind of the age I am and remember rock and heavy metal and that kind of stuff when it came out the first time, and then to see to see like Cates with this one, or Scott Snyder with death metal, be like, yeah, we're gonna crank this up to 11. It's like, I'm not, I mean, no offense when I say this, but I'm not sure these guys are old enough to remember the first time this came around. So is this like nostalgia built based on memory? I don't know. Anyway, it feels and I'm not, yeah, it's gonna get people pissed. I'm just saying that this one feels a little bit like the lifestyle of rock with some nostalgia attached to it. Um, you know, I, I went to see the LA Guns and the Crocodile. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm old. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm old. Anyway, the King in Black, because everything is either Scott Pilgrim or Game of Thrones, is coming at the end of the year, kind of December. I think it's been carved out. And this is where it's finally going to follow up from last year's Absolute Carnage storyline. And, Marvel's expecting this to be a big hit. Now, obviously, Ryan Stegman is turned into really a superstar artist. Donny Cates is enjoying quite a run with Marvel right now. We're hearing that Jason Aaron is going to be involved in this at least somehow. Marvel is saying that this is going to tie in all the X-Men teams. Right? All the X-Men teams? Don't tie in all the X-Men teams. And it's going to tie in the Avengers and Ghost Rider and Spider-Man and everything. It's all coming in here. And the Marvel heroes thinks they're ready, but they are not ready. I suspect it'll be fine. But anyway, the weird part about this is, I think this is where it feels like at the House of Ideas, or DC for that matter, there's a kind of a tone deaf is the wrong word, but it hasn't really sunk in what the coronavirus did to shops and the pause, and how it kind of rolled through comic fans. There's an exhaustion in the country in general, and whatever political party you're on, whatever side of the comic ideology wars you're on, it doesn't really matter. There's still an exhaustion because we're not all back to work yet. The economy has taken a hit. The stores are kind of open, half open. Everybody's wearing a mask around. It's just we're not in that kind of fun-loving, hey, let's do another comic event this year kind of mode. And yet the comic industry is kind of blasting ahead as if we're status quo. And some of these events might be great. They all might be great for that matter. But there's a certain, it just feels like there's a timing problem here. We just started the hype for King in Black, and we haven't yet started Empire. Like I mentioned, we're going to go into Ten of Swords, and then we're going to. So it's a little bit hard to say this is going to be the event that's going to shake the Marvel universe to their core. They aren't ready for it. This is going to be it. When we haven't yet started Empire, which 2 days ago was getting the hype, or one day ago was getting the hype that the Earth will never be the same. That this is going to, send Marvel into space and cosmos things and everything else. But then we're hearing, all the characters are going to come and they're going to, Knull is going to show up on Earth and wreck everything, and they're not ready. And it's like, and then Ten of Swords, there's Krakoa and there's some swords, and it's like this stuff feels like you walk into a room and everybody's playing an instrument, like a rock instrument, super loud, different tunes, different songs, everything else. One guy's over there doing Inner Sandman. Person over here is doing Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then we got this other guy who thinks he can play Faith No More, but it's not. He's like doing like the chords from Epic, but it's just all wrong. And then we just got like some crazy asshole in the corner is just like banging the drums as loud as they can and think they're doing Pantera. That's what it feels like. We're walking into a room and there's just noise and sound coming at you from everywhere. And what Marvel desperately needs, more than anything, I think DC needs it too, but it's much smaller problem with them right now. Marvel desperately needs somebody to come in who's an authority figure, like a Tom Brevoort or a Joe Quesada or somebody, and talk to the public, talk to the fans, and say, "Hey, I know we got 8,000 things going on here, but they trust me, they all make sense, and here's how. Gather around the campfire, listen to old Uncle Joe, and we're going to explain to you right now how all this stuff doesn't feel like just some giant comic book soup that we're just mixing up and stirring all over the place." I have no doubt that the King in Black story will be a fun story. I'm sure it will sell well as well, but it is stretching thing. It is exhausting. It is exhausting at this point. And this isn't my opinion. I mean, well, it is my opinion, but it's not just my opinion. This isn't just some people on Twitter who are bitching all the time. This is like, you go to shops and you just can tell something's in awry when the store's like, okay, are you going to be down for the event? Well, which event? Well, good, glad you asked that question. There's three of them here, maybe four. And you kind of get the feeling like there will be a one or two, like Jason Aaron's going to do one or two things to the Avengers before we're there, or you get like a Squadron Supreme crossover and everything else. But this is all sucking the life out of some pretty legitimately great storylines. I think what Chip Zdarsky's doing on Daredevil right now is really, really good. But you wouldn't know it because it's not an event, so it's getting none of the marketing dollars. It's going to get none of the hype, and it's just kind of all floating there underneath the surface. I think Nick Spencer is building to something, the return of Norman Osborn again, and so he's got some stuff going on. It could be good. I think Ghost Rider has been pretty solid. It's telling some different stories, all different stories for different tastes, but a lot of the normal comics. And I think you really get the picture with the Avengers. The Avengers is doing a Moon Knight kind of storyline right now, where Moon Knight seems to be going crazy and doing some crazy crap. And then we've got the Squadron Supreme is evil and working for Agent Coulson, who's an agent of Mephisto. And I mean, you got some stuff that people have built up to that is just like, I mean, who cares? Why should anybody care? Because we've got Plants versus Zombie, or Plants versus Kree over here, and then we've got some swords over there, and then we got Knull over here, and it's like there is no room for normal comic storylines anymore. There's no space. There's no breathing room. There's no patience for it. It's these events are kind of all consuming, and they're just coming at you over and over and over. I mean, it's hard to get excited when Al Ewing and Dan Slott say, we're going to start a new space age. There's going to be some stories in space, and Earth won't be the same. There'll be some cool stuff over there. But you can kind of picture like, well, it's not going to be that different, because Knull's coming to the Earth, and the superheroes are preparing for this and all the rest. And if the Earth was completely wrecked, like, remember the days in comics where when they said things might change forever, you could look at that and go, I mean, who knows what these crazy a-holes will do? Maybe the Quadi, infest like the Earth with plants and kind of choke it out, and the humans have to get into a ship and leave. and anything could happen. But that's not going to happen because we've got this Ten of Swords event. We got King in Black, and I'm sure God knows what else after that. I mean, who's due? I feels like we got a proper Spider-Man event coming. I think that's probably there's a safe bet that that's happening. And then there's another X-Men event. I mean, don't forget that we've got Ten of Swords, but there was at least talk that Ten of Swords was going to be kind of the summer thing for the X-Men line. COVID knocked that out. And then there'd be another X-Men event kind of kicking in the winter. So, by timelines and stuff, we're really talking maybe March now next year. We're going to get another event there. And, I feel like, by the way, I complain about, like, people always complain about this crap. Are you sick of hearing videos like this? I am. I'm just hearing myself talk. I'm tired of it. But it's like it keeps coming up. So at some point, it's like I'm sick and tired of it, but I'm sick of living it. And it's a shame because I think these stories are all good. Donny Cates has earned this Knull story. He's put a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of groundwork being laid. He's introduced a character a long time ago. I'm sure the maker's involved somewhere in there. I mean, he's done a lot to build to this moment. We had Absolute Carnage last year, but it's hard not to approach this thing with a sense of, another one? I mean, do you want me to care about what goes on in the regular comics anymore, or are we just kind of giving up on that idea? That's how it feels to me. How about to you? Are you excited about this? Do you want it? Is this something you've been waiting for? Do you feel exhausted? What's the cure? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Comic Perch, and thanks for listening.